Hi, I'm Susan Lee. I'm a community planner here with the town of Frisco. We have gotten a group of community members together today to help to develop a set of shared community values. We listened at our community plan kickoff on July 11th to a lot of things that people love about the town of Frisco. And so today we wanted to take all of that information and try to condense it into a set of shared community values. So we have Mike McCarthy here. He led us through a really interesting process to help us find out just what those community values are. Mike, can you tell us what we did?
Absolutely. So what we did today is we used a process called appreciative inquiry, and we had groups read the note cards from the planning meeting as well as share their own stories. And through what was on the note cards and the stories, we were able to synthesize down into the things that people valued most about the Frisco community, the things that they loved, the things that they cherished. And in small groups, we had community members work to create the values that you see behind us. And so we came up with several options, and we're going to continue to synthesize those down into values that represent where we've come from, where we are today, and where we hope to go in the future as a community.
Hi, I'm Joyce Algier, and I just got to participate with a number of our citizens in a really engaging and interactive process of talking about Frisco's values. So I want to go over the outcome of this hard work that people did for over 2 hours. It was probably close to 2.5 hours to really dig deep, talk about what's important, as Michael said, and what the outcome was. So there are some really important themes here. History is important. We need to cherish history, or we do cherish history. That's a value. I thought this was especially direct and succinct, and it got a lot of dots here from the people participating, which meant it was really important to them. We want to preserve and understand our history while allowing or accepting change, being thoughtful about our future, being respectful of our past, and allowing history to guide our future. Another central theme is environmental care, our environment, and I think it came up as nature and wilderness and recreation as well. But Frisco people think that we are a community that is sustainable and cares and preserves the beauty and solitude of the nature that surrounds us. And there were some really interesting quips about people came here for nature, came for the environment, and stayed for the people, which kind of directly flows into a really big theme about community and how people here in Frisco care about each other. We're a culture of kindness. We build belonging and compassion for those that are in and of our community. We pull together during hard times. We care about our environment collectively and supporting others in need, but also celebrating our place, our sense of place, and the things that go right and the things that we have to be grateful for. And then another interesting theme that's kind of nuanced but kept reoccurring is that of community balance. And I think when the groups were talking about that, it came up in several of the groups, was that about finding and maintaining who Frisco is by a sense of balance. We know we have a lot of visitors, we have second homeowners, but we want to make sure that locals, the whole concept of we are a local community, we care about our locals, we want to protect our locals, we want a high sense of quality here. But in the meantime, balancing that with our tourism-driven economy, but finding the right balance. Balance was also defined as economic balance, housing, sort of the social side of sustainability, making sure there's housing, and our environment, making sure we protect that. Economic, recreational, and housing opportunities to achieve a sustainable balance came out on top. Healthy living. We value and want to promote access to open space activities and healthy food to help our bodies and minds flourish. So a very thriving, healthy place on all fronts of our human condition, if you will. I'd say in closing, or maybe just in summary of what we heard here, I think people really value, too, our sense of the eclectic eclectic built space that we have here, which is intertwined with history because we have a lot of historic buildings still standing here and there, and the historic park protects some of those. There's a lot of charm on Main Street. We have this incredible marina. We have community pride in all of those places, which engenders a place, in a spirit of loving to be here with our families and friends. So it kind of comes full circle. It's pretty comprehensive and sustainable in terms of the approach.
This town, to me, is really the people of this town. And that's what makes the community. And it is unique in that I've traveled to every ski town in this country, literally, and there is nothing like Frisco. That's just the way it is. It's the people.
That it is so important to the Bales Ranch neighborhood and the people of Frisco to preserve that history. And I just thought it was amazing to watch our neighborhood and our community come together to preserve the history in the wilderness to a walkable place.
Is the fact that it's a Thursday night. I go and pick my kids up at Fun Club out on the Frisco Peninsula. I can't fit their bikes on my car, so thank goodness I can ride out there on my bike and pick them up on my bike. And we go home, we grab a snack, and we go down to the concert down in the historic park, a free concert, where I'm able to purchase a glass of wine, which is usually needed by then, but it supports our local preschool or whatever nonprofit is happening that day. And the kids get to play and hopefully not destroy anything on a beautiful grass lawn surrounded by historical buildings. And you always find a place on the lawn where you see familiar faces, some new ones, some strange ones. But it's a great benefit to the community for those visiting and for us who live here.
And there's this woman standing at our public planters, which are just gorgeous and overflowing with petunias and all other kinds of things. And there is this woman who's sitting right there. Would you raise your hand, please, Kelsey? And she's deadheading the petunias on our public planters. And I could so identify with that because it's something I sometimes do too. But I thought, now there's a woman who really cares about her community to stand there while she's waiting and do something good for the town.
So our next steps in the process are to take all of this information and compile it into some concise, important value statements for our community. And if you stay tuned to friscocommunityplan.com, you can find those value statements and see what you think of them for yourself. It'll also be on SCTV, so stay tuned. Thanks.